Hi, Beck Mack here for Pops Art, and I am at the gallery Edwina Corlett, and I'll be chatting to Bridie Gillman, whose work is part of the upcoming Trace exhibition, work put throughout the community of West End out of the galleries. And here's Bridie, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thanks. So thanks so much for joining me. Now, this is the work that's going into Trace. It will be placed in a shop or a chemist or a garage. Can you tell me a little bit about the work and what's been the inspiration behind it?
Yeah. So it's called He Pulled a Blossom Off the Tree for Me as I Left. And it's actually, it's based off I did it when I came back from a trip to Mungandai, which is a town about 5 hours on the border of Queensland and New South Wales. Yes. It's where my grandpops lived his whole life. And yeah, so we went and visited him, and as we were leaving, he pulled a big branch with a yellow flower on it, and gave it to me. And yeah, when I returned, I made this painting based on that gesture.
What a beautiful memory. And you were saying earlier that your work is about exploring your memories and recalling your memories and emotions and through colour, but you also were very influenced by your childhood in Indonesia. Can you talk to about the impact of that past and to where you are now as an artist?
Yeah, so I grew up in Indonesia, and I suppose those early experiences of living in different places and then coming back to Australia and being in between spaces, I suppose, and in between cultures has led me to being really interested in place and how we remember a place and remember those experiences, and then translated usually through colour. So that's my main kind of way I think of places.
Do you have like a colour for an emotion? Like, is it that specific, or like how do you transit from your inner self, your emotional inner self, to an external expression of that through colour?
It's usually more through observation of the particular place. So if say if I'm making work about Yogyakarta in Indonesia, it's got heaps of teal and bright yellow and real candy pink. Yes. So it's more, it's usually specific to the place. So so with this, it's the color of, the blue sky and the particular flower, and and it's not exact, like I'm not a representational painter, but
there's emotional like sort of terrain, internal terrain involved in this.
Yeah.
And with the work, it's so gestural and there's so much movement. Like, what is the process then for you for applying the paint?
So I'm usually thinking about whatever I'm drawing from. I like to work quite quickly and intuitively. I think I probably started with marks that were reminiscent of this flower, kind of coming out like that. It's probably pretty.
Do you dance and play music?
It
looks like quite like there's a lot of rhythm in there as well.
I play music. Yeah. I might do a little bop, but not really.
Fair enough. Now, what's coming up for you next?
I've got a residency in Bali coming up in October. I'm just kind of starting to think about my past experiences there and getting into that headspace, I suppose, and starting to make work about that. And it's a really interesting place, I think, especially with Australia and Indonesia kind of tourism aspect and stuff. So.
And then finally, Trace is about taking work out of the gallery context and placing it into the community, into public spaces. What do you think, how do you think your work will be viewed within that space?
I think it's wonderful, really great. Just the fact that people who might not usually walk into an art gallery get a chance to see some work, and it feels like a democratic way of showing work and stuff. So,
fantastic. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us, and it's great you're part of the show, and keep your eye out for Bridie's work. I don't think we know where it is yet, but it will be out there in Trace.
And it's for such a great cause, Community Plus, so such great work. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Bridie.